born in Osterburg, Pennsylvania
Okay.
in 1951. Calculators. Would that be considered technology?
Yes.
Mrs. Schultz, you know that. Okay, calculators. Color television.
Okay.
All right. Computers. Started back in 1980 or something like that. Push button phones. They used to be dials. We used to have a party line where like 3 people were on one line. You pick up the phone, somebody's talking. So you now have your own telephone lines. Cassettes took over vinyl, LP, long playing records like they used to be vinyl. Cassettes came out, or I'll say 8-track tape players came out back in the 70s, like 73.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. I'm laughing because I know Mrs. Schultz is probably thinking like none of it, which is true. Probably a computer.
Okay. Why?
And I don't use it that much, but because you can find so much information right at your fingertips. I mean, if you need an answer for something, you know, my son once told me, and he's a lawyer, and he once said to me when he was in college, he said, "Dad, you don't have to be smart anymore. You just have to know how to find information." And he says the people that find the information are the ones that are going to get ahead in the world. And I believe that. So it's how you find information. You don't have to have a high IQ. You just need to know how to get to your resources. And if you can do that, you're going to be okay. I could probably do without a computer. I could definitely do without a cell phone. I don't need a cell phone.
Okay.
Nobody needs to get in touch with me. And I don't need to get in touch with anybody else. I have a cell phone for one reason, and that's for emergencies. All right? You guys are all technical. Guys, we had none of it when I was your age. None. Zip. I remember my brother, and I wasn't smart in math. I wasn't in a higher math, but they had slide rules to figure out answers, like in trig.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as that anymore. You guys have calculators to do everything. You can't even multiply anymore. You guys don't even know your multiplication
Yeah.
tables. You do not. You need a calculator to multiply 1.5 times 10. You know, you can't give me the answer. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your generation. I guess that's okay though. That's fine because you have the tools to do that for you, and as long as you get the answer, honestly, I think that's a good thing. So, I mean, people ask me like, what kind of? We had 2 channels on our TV.
Right.
That was it. We didn't have cable. I mean, it's so much different now than when I grew up. It's incredibly different.
Right.
Totally different. It's mind-blowing sometimes to me to think about all the things that you guys have at your fingertips that we didn't have. So, my daily life hasn't been affected, other than teaching. I mean, I had to learn a little bit about computers. Mrs. Schultz is chuckling right now because I still know nothing about computers. And it comes so natural to you guys. I mean, obviously you've been taught, you've been raised with it. I think that's the big thing with people my age. We're all in that category. We all have trouble with computers because we didn't grow up with them and they're kind of foreign to us and we kind of shy away from them. But yeah, computer has definitely changed in my teaching. I don't know in my case if it's any better. I like computers in my class because my kids can find information, they can find photographs, and that's different. That's so much different than it was years ago when I first started teaching. Probably not doing as much original work now as I did when I first started, as far as my kids go. We're getting everything off the internet and looking at it, and I think, like I said, it's a great resource, but I don't want kids to get too dependent on that either. And they get very dependent on a computer.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessary. There's Photoshop, all the digital art that's made now. It's definitely a new type of art in the last 20 years. It's gotten to be so much different than it was before that. And people like Mr. Wanker, he's really into that stuff. I mean, I think we have a good program for that reason. You know, kids have gone on to Edinburgh and other areas and use the technology to get into their art. I've got emails from kids that graduate from here that's what they're doing. They're doing digital art. They're doing lots of stuff on the computer. So I think it's a good thing in a way, but I also think there's a lot of fine art. I think fine art is being lost. I think like painting is being lost, like drawing is being lost because of that. So I have mixed feelings about technology, big time. But I think it's good in a way. But I think you need to know, as an artist, you have to know how to do both of them. And I'd rather have you walk before you start to run. I'd rather have you learn the basics in art before you get on the computers and learn Photoshop and all that. And I think Mr. Wanker would agree with me on that. It hasn't impacted me that much because I'm a dinosaur. I haven't adapted like I probably should have. I mean, I have one nice thing I have going is Mr. Wanker's next door, and he does that. So that kind of took the load off of me, and I didn't have to learn it. And like I'm stubborn too, so I kind of push myself away from it. Because I like what I do. I like the fine arts. I think the fine arts should be part of our curriculum. And I think between the two of us, we have a good program when it comes to that. It's for you guys. It's totally different. You do everything online. You write papers online. Look at how you get an education out. It's online. You don't have to go to college. You can get a degree online. You don't even need a teacher around to get a degree. I think that's pretty sad. If you have a disagreement with somebody, you can just email them. You don't have to see them face to face. I think that's pretty sad. That you can't talk to somebody face to face about problems. And I think that's gone from you guys. I think the communications aren't, what do I want to say, I can't find a good word to use. Your communications with other people aren't as tight as what our communications were between people.
Right.
I can't find a decent word to tell you. I think it's pretty cold, put it that way. It's not, I think it's pretty cold to tell somebody through an email what's going on.
Right.
I think you should come down and talk to them or get it straightened out.
I know you have adult children. So how do you think that how do you think that technology has changed their lives in comparison to your life?
They use my son's using it constantly in his job. And my daughter is my daughter's in a bakery shop right now, so she's not using it that much, but she definitely, between her friends, she's using her computer, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. You know, I could even care less about Facebook. I know you guys probably can't live without it. But that doesn't even bother me that I'm not a part of Facebook. Big deal. But my daughter and my son are definitely, their generation, they're definitely using a lot of technology. Well, I think everything's at our fingertips right now. I think we get everything like right now. Something's going to happen like there was an earthquake. There's an earthquake in Mexico City just last night. Right now they're on top of it. What happened, people were affected. Tornado-wise, the technology, they know if a tornado's coming, you can get out of harm's way. There's warning now, where years ago you were like in the dark about, especially weather. I think technology is good for that because it gives you fair warning of what's coming. Like that tsunami that happened over in Japan a year ago. People that were away from that, I mean, they didn't have much warning, but people that were away from that had a lot of warning because of all the communications involved. I think it's great that we can communicate that fast. And that was so much different than when I was a kid.
McDonald's was invented around the time you were born. I asked Mr. Schultz when you graduated. How do you think that the restaurant industry and the food industry was impacted by that?
What did they say McDonald's made last year? Like $41 billion profit?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, that to me is phenomenal. I remember when hamburgers were 19 cents when they first started. And I didn't see a McDonald's till I came to Edinburgh back in '69. But one thing I will say about technology is people have lost their patience. People aren't as patient. Like, I'm amazed at how kids, if you don't get something on a computer right now, it's slow, they get frustrated and mad at the computer because it's not giving them the information. It's a computer. It's like amazing. It's like giving you this information. It will give it to you. I'm amazed at the information you can get right now. And when it's a little slow, people get upset that it's slow. That bothers me that we're that impatient about things. I think fast food definitely people would rather go to a restaurant. They don't want to wait. They don't want to have a sit down. They don't want to sit there and talk anymore. They just get their food. You can get it in your car. You can eat it in the car. You don't have to go sit down. Probably fast food has probably kept a lot of families from eating dinner together because it's so easy to just go to McDonald's or Wendy's or wherever and just pick up dinner and bring it home. Or kids right now, you guys are into so much more. There's so much more activities after school than there ever was when I was a kid. My mom had a dinner for us every night. That's what we did. We knew that there was dinner. I think that has been lost because of fast foods, because of those restaurants.
Apple has produced many products in the past 30 years, from the Macintosh computer to the iPod to the iPhone, iPad.
I know how to use all of this.
How do you think the evolution of Apple's products have affected other technological advancements?
Oh, it's kept them on their toes. I mean, everybody, look how it changes. Look how Apple just came out with I don't know, what was it, new iPad? And it's so much better than their old one. New and better, more improved. I mean, they're always coming out with something else. And technology is happening so fast right now. It boggles your mind that you don't keep something for like 10 years and it works before you have to get rid of it. I mean, every 6 months there's something else coming out. It's amazing how fast. I'm anxious to see in 10 or 20 years will there be a written language anymore? Will we even be writing? We can talk to computers now. It'll actually type for us just by our voices. And I have a feeling that people aren't going to be writing anymore in the next 20 years. It's hard to say. I mean, you guys are great kids. I think we have great kids here at Cambridge. We've always had great kids. Deep down, you guys are still the same kids that I had 30 years ago. I mean, your values are the same. You still want the same thing out of life. Technology has definitely changed the way we teach. It's changed the way you guys think. And I think it's just going to, people have to adapt. I didn't adapt to it. I'm like on my way out, so I don't feel like I have to adapt that much. But young people, it'll just be a way of life. And the new technology you get, you guys are so used to getting it that I don't think it's going to be a big impact on the kids that are in kindergarten now. They'll roll with the punches. They'll just adapt to it. And I think it's going to make our lives better and better and better. I think actually, even one thing about technology, you're talking technology, but like health-wise, people are living longer than they used to. I mean, kids that are in kindergarten now might live to be 100 years old. That might not be so hard to understand, at least till 80. And I think technology has helped us do that, okay? Whether it's like in science, we're talking about iPods and things like that, and computers, but there's so much that has happened in health and in science because of technology. And that's a great thing. That's a really good thing. So I think it's a good thing. I think overall it's a good thing. It's here. You're not going to get rid of it. I would, I have a lot of great childhood memories, a lot of things growing up that I look at, and that's just part of my generation. The music, the way we did things, the old-fashioned way we used to do things. And it's kind of nostalgic to think about stuff like that. But in the long run, I think technology is definitely a good thing.